Hi there. Welcome to Passports and Promises. I'm Shalene. From stunning beachfront I-dos to secret travel gems, we're all about real stories from couples who took the leap and celebrated in paradise. Get ready for raw wedding tales, unforgettable laughs, expert travel tips, and those latitude lessons that only true travelers understand. Hi, everybody. It's episode 2, and I have one of my favorites on to talk to us about her experience, her wedding, and a recent trip. So everyone say hi to Yola.
Hi, everybody.
Yola is in, where are you? Are you in Mississauga?
I'm in Mississauga, yeah.
Yeah, so she's like up the street from me. I'm in Oakville. And Yola was one of my first hard rock clients. I had a few before her, but hers was a successful group that came to me because we met at a bridal show. And back then I had free trips and free weddings to give away. But, you know, we all go to different trade shows and events and think something's free and it's really not free. So Yola, do you remember how that went down with us?
I do. I went with my sister-in-law to the bridal show. And first of all, they're very overwhelming. So you walk in and you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. I don't even know where to start. Like, they give you a map. Don't even look at that.
The map doesn't even help. It's like numbered, but nothing's numbered on the floor, right?
No. And it's anxiety. And as soon as you walk in, people are just like, hi, oh, hey, come over here. So you're just like getting pulled everywhere. So go in kind of with a game plan. And I was like, don't say yes to anything. Like, let's just look at stuff. So yeah, it's a very big room. It is a lot going on, and really it puts into perspective all of the components of what goes into a wedding.
That's very true. I never thought about it that way. You're right.
Yeah, and you're just like, when you think, okay, there, like, you go to a wedding and you're like, oh, this is beautiful, like, not realizing every step that goes behind that.
Yeah.
And if you're planning this on your own, like, best of luck you, and go in with a binder, like pull a Monica Geller and have it all planned out.
Wow. Girl, I've seen people come in and, you know, not recently, but I want to say about around the time like when you came, that was what, what year did you come to that? 2016?
2016.
Yeah. So 2016, when people were still printing labels pre-COVID, kind of like people had like actual big 3-inch binders. They had things from the Knot. Their friends were carrying all the bags and taking like all of the info. But we really used to have people who were like, I'm planning everything. We haven't seen a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
But people used to come there intent on planning the full event within one full day. Madness.
Yeah. Crazy. I don't even know. So I think when I had walked in, I already had an idea that my fiance at the time, now my husband, we had planned, you know, I think we're going to do destination. Like, let's just make this easy. Let's go somewhere, make it a trip, and hope for the best.
Right.
So I kind of like dodged all of the places that were like, do you want flowers? And I was like, no. You know, do you want settings? And I was like, absolutely not. Right. Like, I just knew where I didn't want to go, but I was like, where's the free stuff? Like, I want that stuff too. So, you know, do I have to talk to them? Maybe. But yeah, it was kind of around, and I would say we were there for a good like hour or so before we ran into your booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were very like, from what I remember, like super friendly, very easy to talk to. I didn't feel pressure.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing. And it was just kind of like, hey, this is what this can look like. So and right away I was just seeing like pictures of the Hard Rock, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because back then we would partner with Hard Rock, which is now called AIC Hotel Group, but we would partner with them every show. And part of it was for exactly what you said, so that we could have a brand that people knew. Some people didn't know, and some people still don't really know Hard Rock has all-inclusive resorts, but it's a reason to stop, and it's something that people think is interesting. So that was, you know, part of our marketing, but also how fun it looks, right? Hard Rock is fun.
It was amazing. Like, I just remember I was just like, man, this is like a great place. And we had seen other destination places, but I felt people were a bit pushy, right?
Yeah.
Like, the agents were a bit more pushy, and it was just kind of like, oh, do you want to come here? We showed you all this stuff. Are you going to book with us? And I was like, whoa, like, slow your roll. I don't even know what I'm doing here. You know, I just got engaged a few months ago. this simmer down. So,
Right.
yeah, it was just nice, like seeing all of like the brochures and seeing all the things that could happen. And I think I was talking to my sister-in-law when we were just recently away, and we were talking about destination weddings. And I actually said, I don't think people realize that there's actually work that does go into a destination wedding.
Right.
It's not just, okay, this is it, this is what it is, and you go and boom, it's all set up. Like there's a whole process behind it.
Yeah.
So making sure that you're set up with like the right agent to get you started and to get your people and to like build what that looks like, and then connect you to the coordinator at the resort. Right. And then that's a whole nother bit of work that goes with that. Right.
Because that's a pain point for some people. And you said a really good thing just a second ago. We were talking about people in the planning. So either we meet people who think, I want to have a destination wedding, but I don't want to do all that planning. And they think it's similar to planning a wedding at home. And it really isn't. It's condensed into 2 months of your time before you leave. But then the other side of it is the people who think they don't have to plan anything at all. Who's like, I'm just going to show up. And I have had a client who actually did that. And you know what? She has an angel on her shoulder, and it worked out because she actually wanted everything they already had. So she just kind of walked into it and had a very small group. But there's still some work to be done, but you have to pair with the right partners so that you're given a full picture of like what to expect. And I think
absolutely
the best part about your story is that contest. So every year we do that thing. And I think I told you this. So we had probably done it 3 times, and it's so hard to give away. And we don't even have it anywhere, which is kind of sad. But we would tell everyone, post a picture, tag us on Instagram or whatever, and then we'll pick from the name. So you did that. You followed the directions. We probably had like 5 people enter. And there were a few before you. Pull out the name. I'm like, okay, hi, it's Shalene. Met you at the bridal show. Congratulations. You've won the, free Hard Rock wedding, whichever resort you want, Punta Cana, Riviera Maya, Cancun. And people were like, huh? What do you mean it's free? I swear that was our conversation.
It was just like, so what's the catch? Like, what are you talking about? When you called me, I was at work, and I was just like, it was an email and I was like, what is happening? I was like, wait, I won what? Like,
huh?
I don't understand these words. What's happening?
Right.
So when I talk, you're like, no, you won. The people before, they weren't able to go. And the only stipulation was to go by this date.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like to go. And I think I had gone to the bridal show in like December or January.
Yes.
November or January. That's usually when they run them. And so it was like to be done by like November of 2017.
Yeah. We had almost a year and a half. So you came to the show. So they were in January and September. I think you were January, weren't you?
I feel like I was.
Yeah. It was. We didn't do it till the next September, which was cool. You had a lot of time.
Yes. We had time. So I just remember just thinking like, okay, I don't know. Like I don't care about the date. Like you're telling me I'm going to save how much on this? This is great. So yeah, when I remember calling Daryl and I was just like, Daryl, babe, like I won. And he's like, what are you talking? He's like, what's the catch? Like, how much do we have to pay?
Right.
And I was like, I'm telling you, like, I won the package. I said, so of course there's things that we do have to pay for, like the trip and stuff, but the package itself is like what you get at the venue, at the resort. That includes like your events, that includes your decor, that includes your flowers. So it's kind of like the stop shop package of everything. The only stipulations with that I don't think people realize either is you don't get to pick and choose different pieces from different packages.
Right. And you know what's great? That's changed. It's changed since your time. Poor you.
No, I love what I had. It was great. So I can't complain.
You're right. Some people need the structure, and then some people want like the world. But yeah, they've changed since you were married, they've changed their packages, I think, 3 times. Because even the photos I have of yours that I still share with people, I let them know that's been, what do you want to say? Not grandfathered or whatever. It's been retired. They don't have that package anymore. But, wedding themes change. So they change them all. But yeah, the best part is knowing what's included in your package, right? Like we could have given you a different resort and said we had a free wedding there, but it may not have been the same components as what was included at Hard Rock. Like Hard Rock gave you all your events as long as people were booked in the group, and they gave you the food included as long as it was in the group, and the bar, which is a tremendous savings compared to A, doing it at home, or B, just another resort. So
honestly, I will say that was like, when I think of what I got in that wedding, in that package, and how easy it was to plan, it was everything I needed. Like, all I had to plan was my invitations, and fans for people when we got there, and just little trinkets and little goodie bags and stuff. But like, the majority of everything, I was like, boom, this is the package I picked. This is the color scheme we're going with. Like, it just really made it easy for me, where I was like, okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. And there were so many incentives that came with it that I just didn't I never understood that.
It was like bonus on bonus after that.
Bonus on bonus on bonus on bonus. So the great thing about the Hard Rock was kids under 12 were free.
Yep.
So they got there for free. They stayed for free, which meant that my stepson and my 2 nephews were free.
Yep.
Which is a huge savings on cost. That's when they were building that Tony Hawk skate park.
Yeah, they were.
And so they were able to go in and still try parts of it. Like, it was, honestly, that was such a great resort for a wedding. It was so much fun. Everybody had like the best time, and all of the incentives that kept coming with it was amazing.
Yeah. So you were lucking out back when it was, I think 11th adult free, which I think it still is now. So even that was another bonus, right? As you were booking that group. And I think we had under 40, right? Like we were just under 40.
I did 26.
Okay.
So 26
so you
plus
fit,
us.
Yeah. You fit in the package. I think that package was up to 40 guests. So you had every 11th adult free. So we had a credit. So we had a refund, like a cash refund back to you for Transat bonus. Then you had all of the events with all the decor and the food. Free. And then they gave you some upgrades. So
yeah, I will tell you that the wedding, the day of the wedding, there was just so much food. Just because it was like the reception, like, like at the beginning where people just kind of get together, and then there's the cocktail hour, after we got married, and then it was like, we're doing our photos. So then they had their stuff, and then we had dinner, and then there was more food afterwards. And like, at the end of it, I was like looking at the staff there, and I was like, can you guys please take this home? Like,
I know, it's
honestly,
such a waste.
So much. And they're like, we can't. And I was like, this is heartbreaking, because it's like,
it is.
We are so stuffed. I cannot fit in my dress if I eat anymore. Like, we did our best, but we're trying to get liquored up now, right?
That's something to say about having like a reception dress versus your wedding.
Right?
Dress. Needs to be pockets,
Yeah, but it was great. Like, the extras that people might not know is like, you do pay extra for the photographer, right? Like, you do pay extra for the photography package, how long you have them for. You pay extra for the speakers, you pay extra for the sound system, you pay extra for me. Like, there are the extras, and depending on what your budget is, you're just kind of like, okay, do I need that? Do I need this? But overall, our wedding was a complete hit. We did have, somebody that was planning on coming and didn't come, which for anybody that's watching, if you are planning on going to a destination wedding, please ensure that you're committing to it. There is nothing worse than planning to go with a buddy or a friend and sharing a room and then saying, you know what, actually, I can't go. Because that person's left with that room.
Single occupancy,
which is for the cost. The one person ended up still going, but they had to limit their trip to 4 days.
Yeah,
rather than 7 with everybody else. And they paid the same amount as anybody would have for the full 7 days.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt my feelings, even having to tell them. Excuse me, I remember how that went, because it was like, who can we find? Can anyone come? Like, and it's always last minute, right? This never happens with like 6 months notice. It's a final payment and someone realizes they can't attend. And for years, even after that, we've tried to warn people that this happens. Like, there are real life stories of this. Please make sure you get travel protection. And, we've had some people who do it now. And thank God. I don't remember whether they have it. I go look at the file and I'm like, oh, okay, great. We can get you out of this. And then we can help your friend. Or we can help both of you get out of it and then rebook your friend. Because maybe now we can do something that works better for them. But a lot of people say no. And the travel protection isn't that much compared to the cost of the trip. But I think now after COVID, more people are open to getting the travel protection just because they've actually had it in events where they see that things can happen out of their control. But we do have a lot of guests who do that. I mean, we have people who break up. We had a wedding that just left this week. So they left on the 6th. And 2 people broke up. And so his room is full price.
Yeah.
In his resort. And you can't help it, especially when it's a breakup. But sometimes, like you said, some guests are just like, yeah, I'll be there. You really don't understand the domino effect of things that happen. Also, the couple could lose a comp, like some of those comps that come back to help pay for the wedding and pay for the events for everyone to enjoy themselves. Sometimes those are missing now because of people not thinking through their plans.
Yeah. And I mean, we were good. Like, we knew that we didn't want a big wedding. So we didn't just invite everybody to, like, the more people we had, the incentives were amazing. Like,
right.
I think if we had 75 people, it was like insane the amount of free stuff we would have gotten.
You would have had a ton of events.
Yeah. But I was just kind of like, for us, we're just like, are we just inviting 75 people for the sake of having them there? Like, is this a group of people that will mesh? Is this a group of people that are going to get along together? Like, when you're inviting people, it's an intimate moment too, right? People are there on vacation, but they're also there in your events, and they're there, when you have like your welcome day, and, they're there for the rehearsals, and you want people to just gel, So for us, like, when people were saying, no, we can't go, we were like, that's totally fine. We get it. The timing doesn't work. It was the first week of school for some people, My brother was just like, my kids don't need to go to school. They are coming, So,
that's our recommendation to most people.
Yeah. And we looked at Jake and we're like, you don't need to go to school too. Don't worry about it, But for some people, it was a big thing, right? So for us, we held no hard feelings to anybody that couldn't come, because we get it. Like, you're asking somebody quite a bit to go to a wedding. But for us, it wasn't about trying to meet a quota to get incentives. It was, we asked people that we wanted to be there for that moment, knowing that this was going to be a great group that would all mesh and would all get along and would all have a good time together and not just kind of separate. Because we were just away last week.
I was just going to ask you about that, because you mentioned that. So you came back last week, but you left end of April, and you went to Dreams Natura with some of your family. So a small group. So it was 8 of you this time.
Six this time.
The other 2, sorry, segue here, everyone. Yola and the family were going away in February. And of course, it was the day of that crazy snowstorm, and then the plane that crashed in Pearson. So that trip didn't happen.
I would say that if there were signs to not go on a trip, that was
all of them. Like, everyone, on top of all the miscommunication. Do you remember our whole day? Our exchange was, okay, Pearson says the flight's canceled. Sunwing says it's still going. Sunwing's moved it 4 hours. Now they've moved it back. Now it's leaving the state. Like, it was so much. And you were my only people traveling that day. Thank God I didn't have a wedding group or just multi groups of people. Like, it was you 8, and we just had to keep on our toes and see what was happening. But the best part is that, you guys were in a space where we could get a travel credit. So here we are. We rebook everyone except, I think it was, who were the 2? It was Kelly's daughter and boyfriend, right?
Yeah. So my niece and her boyfriend, with his school schedule, it didn't work out. So they went to a different resort a week prior. So the 6 of us ended up rebooking. It all luckily worked out for the stars to align for all of us to go together. And so we booked to go to Dreams Natura.
Oh,
so
jealous.
We had said, so this is the irony of all of this. We had said, okay, if we can't make this work to go with my sister-in-law's family again, then you know what? We'll just go on a trip, the 3 of us. So me, my husband, and my stepson. And then Kelly was saying the same thing with her family. And so we're like, okay, then, we'll get my stepson, like Jake, his own room because he's 19. Like, he does not need to share the room with us. And we were looking, we're like, okay, like steep prices for single occupancy because it was about $3,000 just for him.
Yeah.
So when we were looking to book and our schedules aligned, and we're like, cool, we're able to do this again. And we found Dreams Natura. Daryl and I start looking at the price and we're like, okay, this is like cheaper than our original trip. And we had this
crazy. Okay, but you know what it is? It's destination, because originally you were going to Negril, which is not cheap. But I'm still kind of shocked because Dreams Natura is technically a higher price property as well. Like, I have tons of people who want it. It's like their number one, especially for weddings.
Yeah.
There'd be amazing weddings there, but we can't afford it. But because you had already had a voucher that covered Royalton Negril, I was so excited and happy that even though we had that bad circumstance, that you were able to, pick it back up and turn it around by going to Natura. So
totally.
So happy.
And we were so happy. So we looked at it and we're just like, hey, you know what? We can, let's upgrade our room, right? We have a little bit here. And I looked at it and I was just like, you know what? Like, we were willing to spend an extra $750 for Jake to have his own room if we weren't going with family. So realistically, I did girl math, right? And I was like, that was money that we were going to spend. So why don't we just do it for upgrades? And that way it works out for everybody. Because Daryl and I, we would have set on the swim out.
Oh, and then you got the perfect one. How did you get the corner swim out?
Listen, the stars had aligned for us.
I mean, I sent a note over like, yeah, these people are coming. I didn't say anything specific. I just said, hey, my clients, one of them is a friend. They're on their way. Treat them well. And of course, they're like, yeah. We're going to treat them.
And they did
well. And
they were amazing.
I can't believe you got that. That's awesome. And then on top of getting the corner, you got spoiled in the corner.
Spoiled. Like, Omar, thank you. You, my friends, were amazing. He was one of the servers that was, serving at the pool. And the first day that Daryl and I went into our swim out, we're sitting there. And he saw us just with our cups, and he's like, "Do you need a drink, lady?" And I was like, "Yes." Like, will you serve us here? And he said, "All week." And
what?
Thank you, Omar. All week long, when he saw us there, he was checking in on us.
That's
he was
awesome.
Going over the hedge, bringing us our drink. Like, beautiful service. Like, I can't say any more about how wonderful he was.
I'm so
he was
glad.
Amazing. There were a couple other ones that were amazing at the Premier Club. So,
because you guys did a preferred club.
We had a preferred club,
yeah.
So that's where the girl math came in, saying, well, we're already going to spend this. Why don't we upgrade? So when I presented it to my sister-in-law, she's like, well, what about the kids? Like, they're sharing a room. Maybe we should, because we're kind of getting on these bonuses. So with a little bit of peer pressure, she agreed, and we all upgraded to preferred club
with no regrets, though. So it's not even like
none. Oh gosh, so worth it. Worth the extra money. I think it was like $250.
It wasn't much, because I remember when I sent it to you, I was like, I didn't want to say tell Kelly, to go up, but I knew for you, I'm like, this makes sense, especially since you've come from going to Hard Rock, and then you didn't even mention to everybody that you spent 2 weeks there. Like,
oh yes, sorry, I did spend 2 weeks.
And had a sky suite.
Our honeymoon was on the adult side, yeah.
Like, oh, I have a sky suite. I'm just here, hanging out for my honeymoon. Yeah, so you can go like downgrade and just take a lead-in room now. Like, you've done it. You've been like up here. There's no way.
Yeah. So, and now we'll never not have a swim out. I'm just saying that. I've been telling everybody this week, I'm like, get a swim out. Why wouldn't you? Like, it's the best thing ever.
I don't know why, and so we have like a weird group of people who like demand the swim out, which I do too. I love the swim out, but they don't go in it at all. And I think it's funny. I think it's kind of like to have it, to look at it. Because either you get someone who wants the swim out to literally just look at, or you get the one person who wants the ocean view so they can look at that. But I'm always like, if you get the swim out and you don't use it, not worth it. But also, if you get the ocean view, but you're with a group and you're always outside of your room, paying for the ocean view also makes no sense. So, trip is and see if it makes sense.
Ours was perfect. The location was the end one, so nobody was on the other side. We had the view of the ocean. We had the view of the pool. Like, we still felt part of things. So it's pretty much around like 3:30 every day where we're like, okay, we're gonna kind of
We're done with
do our.
people. Yeah.
We went over there and like we hung out in the swim out, and like Jake came in and we were just like chilling, and Omar was getting us all of our things, and truly beautiful.
So
Like
cool.
love it, great time. But on the topic of weddings, as we were there, so now we're in our swim out, enjoying our drinks, seeing the chaos kind of happening at the pools, and there were 5 weddings in the 7 days that we were there.
Absolutely. Dreams Natura is a wedding resort.
Yes, and I get why. It is gorgeous. It is a beautiful resort. You were treated well. The food's amazing. The service is exceptional. Like, it's a beautiful place for sure. For me, I liked more of a private venue, right? So what I liked about mine at the Hard Rock was there were different options for locations, and I think there were many. I just remember
tons. There's tons.
Yeah, and I remember just saying, like, I want the gazebo on the water. I want it behind me. I want, whatever. So where I was, there's nobody bothering us. There's nobody walking by. We weren't by any of the pools. And so when my dad was walking me down the aisle, we had our private moment without anybody saying anything. Like, it was ours, right? So we, in like the whole ceremony, just kind of felt ours. We know people could see, but they were far enough away.
I think you were married in the Isla. I think that's where you were. I'm trying to remember, because after your wedding, I went there and I was like, hey, this is where Yola was.
Yeah. Listen, it was gorgeous. So that's me. For us, we didn't want a spectacle. We didn't want a lot of people. With Dreams Natura, the brides being walked down in between all of the pools, right? So we're looking at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, where people in the pool bar are pretty loaded. People in the preferred bar are having a good time. Like, so, I felt bad for some of the brides because they were there trying to have that moment with their parent, before walking down the aisle. And there was somebody walking by, from the pool being like, oh my God, are you nervous? Like, congratulations. And you can just tell, like, this poor woman's very feeling awkward, like
editing. Didn't you say the lady was like in her bikini?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like, they were in the pool, so they're in their bikini, like, very, like, one of them, they were ready to walk down the bridal party started walking down towards like their own little gazebo on the beach, and a guy was coming from the pool and like jumped out in front of them with like his, in his swim trunks, just to go around to go to the other side of the bar, right?
Oh so God.
The location of it for me was just like, it was beautiful, but it was also with everybody around,
right?
And so when, you can hear them saying their vows, and then as soon as they, like, and we now announce, everybody at the pool bar and pools, yeah, good job, they're screaming, and it's like, cool. Like, you're not like the drunk relative. You're like some random
guy in room 3102. It's now your
right.
Now your guest.
Listen,
but
I was room 3104.
That's why it's amazing. There's so many different resorts, because some people love that. Like, they love that everybody is there and in their moment, because that's the type of person they are. And then there's you. You're like, I want this to be, intimate, fun, relaxed, but still ours, right? It's my time. So that's why I love doing this, because everybody has a different profile of what they're looking for, and we can find the resort or property that works for them depending on how much information they give us,
right? Well, it was really nice though, because they did have 2 of the weddings did have their evening reception up on the terrace. That was like beautifully set up. It looked amazing, and like, you can hear the music, but, and when you see these I hate reviews on TripAdvisor.
Thank you.
Because when you look, it's like, oh, music was playing till 10:30 at night, and it's like, well, 10:30 at night, but they stop at 10:30.
Yeah, it's
right. Like,
it's a decent time.
It's a decent time. So expect that there is going to be music. There are things happening, but I'll tell you, like, at 10:30, all of those receptions, the music stopped. It wound down, right? Like, so they're very respectful to the sound around people, and it's not like they weren't intrusive, you know, in the
Right.
spaces. But I just think that for the ceremony piece, like if you wanted something more intimate, be very careful when you're looking at what that setup looks like, because if you've got pools around you, expect that you're probably in the midst of the
Right.
pool action.
And there are a lot of resorts that we sell, or even that one, Dreams Natura, we tell people to do the terrace for their ceremony, or that area I showed you that was tented. I don't get the name off the top of my head, but it's very private, because that's where you're going to have the more intimate ceremony. Now, the terrace is great because you still get the view of the beach and you still get the sunset, and obviously you have to do that later in the day because it's hot, but it's still a great way to now get out of the limelight and have just your own space.
For sure. And that it's the garden, because we saw Fire Show.
Yeah, it has a specific name, but yes, you're right. Exactly. It's a garden.
It's the garden.
Some amazing things with that garden that I didn't even know it was the same space. But
yeah, no, I can see where things would be beautiful. But what I will say is that, like, when walking by, they had like their bridal room where you meet with the wedding coordinator, and it was gorgeous. Like, everybody was very much catered to, attended to. Like, everybody seemed very happy with whatever their setup was. But it was nice. Like, the first couple days, as you know, I see these weddings happening, I'm crying, and Daryl's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "I love weddings." And then, like, by day 3, I was like, "Okay, I'm over it."
Yeah,
like,
no more. I'm good. I'm
good for them. Like, good for you. I'm so happy for you, you know. But it was but I mean, it was beautiful. Like I said, I get why people are picking resorts for weddings, because they are easier to plan. It's nice. It happens faster. You're there with the people that you pick. You know, you don't have to invite relatives that you don't know.
Right.
You know, or friends of your parents that you don't know. But you also just need to know that you can't expect that everybody you invite is going to be able to go.
We still have that challenge with people. They're like, "I'm going to have 120 guests." And I'm like, "You have 120 invitees, but you may get half, maybe."
Totally.
And then we do have some people come. So it's like we have 80 and they have 80, which I'm always like, wow, that's an anomaly. We never really get all or almost all the people to come. But you have to be happy with who is going to be there. And we always try to tell, even with just our regular groups, like, be happy with what you selected, because if people don't make it, you need to be okay with where you decided to go. Right. So if you had decided to pick that hotel and then 10 people came, you should have no regrets that only 10 people came, because the wedding is really for you and Daryl, right? It was really for you. And it's wonderful if people can come. But I think we're all stuck in that mindset that when you have a wedding at home, it really is for everybody else, right? Like, you're inviting 300 people and you're making sure the food is perfect for them. And, you know, everybody's sitting where they need to sit. And you get lost in a blur of the day because you're so worried about the open bar and was the steak cooked through and all these things.
I'll tell you, I had zero stress aside from the fact that it was 40 degrees outside because it was so hot. That's Mexico.
And
I can't blame.
September, like, it was still really hot.
Oh man, it was blazing. But aside from that, I didn't worry about anything. Like, even when it came to prepping to go, you took care of everything, right? Like, when it was like questions from the guests, like, what do? I was like, talk to Shalene. Like, you were like, send them to me, and you were very clear with your messaging.
You followed the directions. Thank you, because we have people that stress themselves out and their guests go to them because they know them. But I think they forget, like, this is still a bride and she's still stressed. And hey, she has a point person. So we always try to get people to do that. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. It's a personality thing, obviously. But it's our job. Like, you've hired us to do this. So it's my full-time job. It's my team's full-time job to make sure that we can help them so that you don't have to think about, you know, Mike changing his dates. His girlfriend's not coming and we're switching rooms. The only time we would bother you, and I think we had to with that one guest, was just, do you know anybody else we can put in his room to help him? But otherwise, that's what we're here for.
No, and everybody that I, you know, spoke like that, everybody that came, I was just like, please don't bother me with this. And they're like, don't worry, no problem. Like, we're going to Shalene. And, you know, I think it's wonderful. That's the whole purpose of it, right? Yeah. Like, it was very much a stress-free time for us. Like, we stayed on the family side. It was amazing. We all had fun, and we lucked out that week because that family side, like, there's nobody at the pool.
Yeah.
Everybody had everything. We had access to whatever we needed. The day that everybody left, Daryl and I moved over to the adult only side.
Right.
And which I would recommend, don't stay at the same side if you don't have, like, if you have the option to go elsewhere, do it. Because there's a change of scenery, change of vibe, change of restaurant.
Especially when you're doing 14 nights, like you did 2 weeks. So we booked everybody on the hacienda side. And then when we left, we did that split for you and moved you over to heaven, which was
and it was amazing. But the day that everybody left, it was like an influx of people came in, and that hacienda side was full. So I was like, the cards were aligned for us in so many ways with that trip. But yeah, we just, like, I just remember the day of the wedding was like no stress for me. The only stress I had actually was first thing in the morning, the air conditioning in my room.
I remember that. And then you had to send me those pictures and didn't Yeah,
it was like leaking, but they were very quick to move me over the exact same type of room without that view. It was on the other side, but they were quick to rectify it and deal with it. But aside from that, like, I didn't worry about what people were eating. I didn't worry about anything. The other snafu was the restaurant changed because the Mexican restaurant we had planned on for the dinner, they had issues with their air conditioning or something. So we had to move it. But again, they did everything. They still served us the same food, and it was just like, you know what, whatever. Like, at this point, I don't care. And I feel like if I had a wedding here, it would be like judgment. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Exactly.
And like there, everyone's like, I don't care. Like, we're in heaven right now.
And where can I get a taco? We're in Mexico.
Like, so it was just great. Like, I highly do recommend destination wedding by far, but just there are some of those caveats. Like, if you hold feelings about people not going, don't.
Yep.
You can't expect that people have $2,000 to $3,000 to spend or a week off of work to go whenever you want to go.
Exactly.
But we planned our wedding when we did, and we were like, whoever can go. And if you can't, it's okay. We love you. We'll send you pictures.
Absolutely.
And that's, really what it kind of came down to. So
you guys, I know you had a great time. I mean, I still follow and talk to some of your group on Facebook. I think me and your aunt.
My aunt all the time. Yeah.
Yep. Your group was so fun.
I see it. I'm actually going to see her on Tuesday up in Thunder Bay. So
yeah, I love it. I love getting to know the people in the group. Like, honestly, and even you too. Like, I've had quite a few clients, and some of them it's transactional because that's my job. I get it done. We have a good time talking. I talk through all kinds of crazy things with them because, life is happening while this wedding is going on. And then some people, I get all sad. I'm like, they're gone and I never talk to them again. And I check on them or I stalk them on Facebook. But you and I have kept in contact.
We have, and you know what? I will say, Shalene, I think the nicest thing too was that you showed up at the airport.
Oh, yeah. I still love doing that. That used to be that was part of my business plan, right? Like I wanted Latitude Concierge to be as concierge as I could accommodate, right? Like, there was a time we had a business plan to help people with their pets when they were gone and all these other things. But I said, the bottom line, one thing I want to make sure I can do is be at the airport. And some people I would just surprise and be there. And then some people I knew would just maybe have challenges just with people checking in. Because sometimes your group is not made of travelers, right? Like, some people don't know what to do at the airport. So yeah, in 2016, 17, 18, and 19, I went with almost every group to the airport. And it would say hi, meet parents. It was funny. People were like, oh my God, I never had a face to go with your voice. Or
and that was the thing. Everyone's like, this is who's been helping us this whole time. Like, you were amazing. And they were just like, I can't believe your travel agent showed up. And I was like, she's amazing.
That's part of it. For me, it's also cathartic. I'm like, oh, they're leaving.
We did it. Yeah. But honestly, it was so much fun. I mean, I still do tell people about my trip. I tell them about you and how amazing it is to work with you in your company. I've never had an issue, even when chaos was happening in February. You were dropping whatever you were doing. You were on the phone with someone. You were doing all the things. You made sure you were dealing with many emails, and like honestly, I couldn't appreciate it even anymore.
Of course. I mean, that's how your travel agent should act. We should. And, you know, we all have personal things and things happen, but honestly, it was nothing for me. I knew it was your trip. I also knew the backstory of this trip and what you guys needed. And so, you know, I appreciate that you shared that with me. And I was like, how do I help them? Like, they just need to be able to know that I have it, and I'll figure it out for you all later. And I appreciate that you guys gave me the space to figure it out for you because it was a lot of Sunwing juggling, and it wasn't their fault, right? Like, who could figure out that day? That day was a mess on all fronts.
That was like, if there was a catastrophe of events that could happen, that was it. Because it was a back-to-back snowstorm.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had just come back. Remember? I just got back. So me and the kids came back on the 14th in the middle of the snowstorm. So we were at Turks, and which is funny because episode 1 is the kids talking about Turks. Then we get back and I'm like, oh, you're leaving. And you did not leave. Like, so I'm lucky I got to help you. I landed and the snowstorm came that night. Like, we pulled up to the house and I was like, there's been snow just piling up in our driveway. I'm shocked that Pearson was able to clear that much snow to even attempt to get you out, like, by the time you were leaving.
Yeah, no, well, they didn't. It ended up being like about 40 hours.
Because then you got more. Like, it came again. Like, overnight, we were talking more snow.
It just kept happening. And then, when the plane, you know, terrible. I don't wish that on anybody. But the plane flipped over at Pearson, and I was like, I think we can't go.
Yeah,
like, this is it. We cannot. And we were also at this point 3 days into our trip.
Right, because that was the other problem. We were at day, I think it would have been 3, right? Yeah, you're right. It would have been day 3, and you would have still have paid what you originally paid.
Yeah.
And we talked to the resort, and they were like, yeah, we still have the room, but imagine how many people that happened to. What else could they have done, right? It's an active God. But thank God that Sunwing turned it around and was like, okay, get out of it. Like, I'm sure it caused all kinds of chaos for them as well, but it just made more sense to just like cut the tie. Like, okay, nobody's leaving, especially when the plane crashed. Like, that just sealed it. Like, this isn't happening.
There was a lot happening. Yeah. So, I mean,
thank God those people were okay. Ugh.
Yeah, for sure. But we really, really were happy that we were able to have this last trip. Great resort. I did write notes on who was amazing.
You had some people we got to acknowledge.
Yes. So Omar was amazing. He was serving us at the in our swim out. Estefani was amazing at the preferred club pool. Emilio and Luz. So they were amazing. If people go, I highly recommend the Mexican restaurant. El Patio is amazing, and Luis was fantastic as a server. Manager was Urbano, super friendly and very attentive. They did like a flaming cheese thing for us. It was amazing. At Hibachi, Alexi was great. I did the spa.
Yeah, so you did that. Like, was that your last day?
That was my last day because I had enough. And I was like, my body can't take anymore. I'm done.
No more alcohol.
I'm poached. We were just like, do we have to drink more? Like, we got to do this. But yeah, Daryl and we did the fish spa first.
Okay. I haven't done that. I can't. I look at it and I'm like, don't touch me. I can't.
You know what? It feels like seltzer bubbles on your feet.
Oh, my brain.
That's really what it feels like. It's pretty fun until they go in between your toes and you're like, but fun. But the spa there is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, that has got to be one of the best spas. And you know what was cool, Yola, when they told us about that resort and they sent the renderings, because they always send like, this is what it will look like. And we all know with construction of anything, it doesn't always look as they've described. That place to a T, that man-made cenote is like, it's beautiful. The winner every time. Like, there have been weddings in there that I've seen the videos of, just epic. Because remember, you said that the resort, the timing for music is 10:30. Well, people will have their reception, a private reception in there, and they can go till like, I think 2 or 3 a.m. in that amazing grotto. Like the back part where they had the chairs, they take it all out. Yeah. That it's so cool. And then the other cool thing about that spa, which I didn't know till I went the last time, Did you go to that area in the middle where you can make like your own product? Did you see that? It was like a glass
I did
room.
see that.
That is so cool. Like I haven't seen that in a lot of places. I think maybe like the Grand at Moon Palace. But it's you make your own like product for your facial. It's really cool.
No, it was great. Diana was my therapist there, so I did the hydrotherapy first.
Okay.
The circuit, which was
Did you do the
amazing.
cold plunge?
I did the cold
I love
plunge.
that.
I did it for a minute because I was like, I think I'm gonna he's like, do you want 3? And I was like, oh
What?
no, 3, you're crazy. 1 minute.
Okay. No.
Yeah, no, but I did that, and then I did a facial and a massage, and Diana was like amazing. I think I fell asleep on her like 4 times.
Aww.
But it was great. Yeah, no, everybody there was super, super amazing. I do recommend that resort. I do recommend the Hard Rock too. Like that, if Daryl and I have an opportunity to go back to the Hard Rock, we will.
And it's changed so much. You guys would love it. It would be a whole new experience for you. It's been renovated. It has new areas, indoor and out. The rooms have changed. Like everything is different. They've got super cabanas there now. Like it's really, really a.
Oh, I would love to. The best part was just that private lagoon. Because the seaweed is not so friendly.
Yeah, Riviera Maya can be tricky, right? And so Hard Rock, I love that property because you can have that and you have calm water. If you have clients who are like, I'm here with my kids, you've got this little area for you. And there's multiples of them. It's not just one. The other really great thing is with the 2 sides, it's just a huge resort. The only time I don't send somebody there is if they want like a long stretch of beach to walk, right? Because that's not that property. But otherwise, like we don't have complaints at that hotel. You had one of our, top of the line, like you got in and also in a year where pricing was still accessible to a lot. Cause obviously everything has gone up for years. And so some people esteem and pray to get that hotel. And I tell them all about people like you who've gone. And then I'm like, here's the price. And
they're like, oh, but
we'll go alone. They're not coming with us.
Listen, one day Daryl and I think we'll make it back there, just because it was super amazing. But if all the Dreams are like Natura, then we are down for the Dreams also, because that was seriously the best. Like Kelly and I were talking about it, and it was like the best service. We didn't have to wait at any restaurant. The food was all so good. The service, like everybody was so friendly. Like we did not encounter one staff member that was not nice. Like sometimes you get somebody that has a little chip on their shoulder, like you
having a bad day. Yeah.
None of them. They were just all so beautiful group of people out there. So we had an amazing time. It was very sad to come back and not see Omar in my backyard.
And to come home and make your bed. That's always my sad thing.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Where did you go? What did you have multiple times? Was it sushi?
No. Okay. So we went to hibachi.
You told me something. I can't remember where you went.
Yes. So we did go to the Japanese restaurant. It's called Hibachi, and you have to book to do the hibachi tables. And we're like, we don't really care. We have it at home. We just want to go because they had like maki rolls and Japanese food and stuff. So we're like, yeah, let's just do that. And so the first night we went, we're just normal people eating normal food, whatever, normal portions. And I say this and I preface it because the second time we went was like, I think day 5. We're like, okay, we're hungry. Like we haven't eaten for a while. So we went for dinner there. And again, there's 6 of us. And I think we amongst the table ordered about 12 to 13 maki rolls, double portions of like stir-fried beef. I had ramen. Daryl had a noodle dish. Like there was a lot of food that came out. The point where the chef came out because he didn't believe it was good. People had that much food.
Like there's this group of 80.
Yeah, and it was just the group of 6. But I will say that we did not waste food. And you know what? There were maki rolls. It was sushi. Like, we don't feel bad about it because you know what? The food there didn't feel heavy or gross, and like I didn't gain weight there. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know what, that's fine. But I was like, this is a table that you will all remember for the next few weeks until somebody else comes in and destroys what we did. So
you left your mark. Good job.
Yeah, it was all fun, it was fun and games. But the Mexican restaurant, honestly, truly exceptional food. So good.
That's awesome.
We went there a couple times too. So
well, it's good when you have, how many, I think it's like, I don't remember how many restaurants are there.
They have 9 restaurants.
You have options, right? For 7 nights, you could have eaten at a different one every day. And then even when you were at Hard Rock, you had like double that. You had tons back then to like.
Oh, we had so many options there.
Much to eat. It's so good to hear these stories because sometimes people have a great trip, but you don't hear about it because it was great, right? So they're like, okay, well, I'm glad. But it's always good to know what the highlights are of what made it an amazing experience for you and your family. So thanks for that, because I shared it with the resort. I shared your text because you were sending me texts throughout the week, and I was like, I'm jealous, but I'm so glad you're happy. Thank you for that. And thank you for all of your insights, because the reason we're doing this is because we preach all the time all the things that we think people should consider for weddings, but it's better to hear it from someone who's had one. Like, I had one, but still mine was in 2009. Or 5.
Yeah.
2005. Jeez. So long ago. So I have a different perspective. Things have changed with weddings. Even since you've been married, things have changed.
Totally.
But in general, the ideas and stress points and things that are exciting and surprises don't change. So I really, really appreciate you coming and doing this today.
Thanks for asking me. As soon as you're like, I need a favor, and I was just like, oh, this, like, a good one, a bad one, I don't know. You know what? Do anything, no problem.
What is she?
I will.
Next time I'm happy. It'll involve wine or something. It'll be a different. We haven't met up since. Remember when I brought Jordan? Where did we go? Starbucks. And you met tiny Jordan, like miniature pint size.
Yeah, we're gonna do drinks soon for sure.
We have to. It's getting warm. So
yes.
No excuse.
It's nice patio season, so I think we can squeeze some time away.
Yeah, I think we got to do that.
Well, this was great, Shalene. Thank you so much. And to anybody out there that is getting married, best of luck, and reach out and ask questions to your agents.
Please do.
All right.
Thank you, my dear. Have a good afternoon.
You. Bye. You too.
Okay, we're done. Thanks for joining us today. Visit latitudeconciergetravels.com to start your own paradise celebration and catch more Latitude lessons in our next episode. This is Shalene signing off.